Hello, my beautiful bitches, and welcome to another episode of Domme Diaries. That's my chat going off.
Nothing in this world that I like more than checks. Money. All I really wanna see is the money. I don't really need a D, I need the money. All a bad bitch need is the money. Whoa. I got bands in the coop.
So today we are going to talk about how I finally became a dom, or more so how I finally decided to openly become a dom and start doing it. So I have wanted to be a dominatrix literally since I was like 15 years old. And of course that is because I saw it on maybe a movie or a TV show, and I just always thought it was so interesting. And I wasn't really sure of like how deep into BDSM it was, and I didn't think I wanted to do BDSM when I was that young. I mean, I wasn't even having sex at 15 like some of you people. Not judging. I don't care. It's fine. But I always wanted to be a dominatrix, and I knew that. And I knew that one of these days it was just going to be way too much for me to try and repress. And ta-da, we're here. So I finally, about a month and a half ago, decided, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. It started with like just sheer curiosity, basically, of me wanting to know what went more into dominating a grown man. It's something very, very empowering to me about being able to dominate. Having someone that willingly wants to lick the fucking dirt off my boots. Having someone that's going to sit there and let me tie them up and torture them and pay me for it. I knew all of this at like 15. Like, that's what they do. But I never knew how to get into it. And I always had the feeling that if that was something that I did, that my mom would like fucking lose her shit, or my dad would not approve, which he wouldn't approve, and he still wouldn't, and I don't give a shit. And when I did finally start having sex, like in college, I started tying guys up. And that was just something I always wanted to do. I would have like, my boyfriend or whatever at the time would tell me, oh, I'm not into being tied up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'll tie you up though. No, the fuck you won't. Because that's not how this works. And I would always be able to get them to do it. And I just really, really liked doing it. And they ended up being subs not knowing they were, because they love being tied up and dominated. I'm pretty small. I am 5'5.5", 5'6", and maybe weigh 120 pounds. I'm pretty skinny. And so just the fact of this tiny little girl being able to dominate you and tell you what to do, they love that shit. And I love it too, because I like pretty big guys. Like nobody that you can easily push over. I mean, like 6'5", 6'6", 240-pound guys, like linebackers. So it's just always been a fun thing for me. Just the thought of wearing tight leather and spanking the shit out of some tiny dick subs that love to worship ebony doms. That's just something that's a thing for me. And a month ago, I finally decided, hey, is it something that you kind of just want to do every now and then on the side when you have a guy that you're dating, or is it something that you just really want to get into and figure out? So that's exactly what I did. And it's funny, the way I started was a couple months back. I have a best friend that likes Reddit and is always on like porn Twitter and stuff like that. And he said something about being a findom. No idea. Had no idea what that was. And he mentioned it. It went in one ear, out the other. It was like whatever. I was doing whatever I was doing at the time. And I wasn't really thinking about it. But pretty much every month in the back of my head, I look at my cuffs and I look at my whip and I look at my blindfolds that I've had for forever, because I used to work in a sex store, and if you work in a sex store, why wouldn't you buy cuffs? So I always look at them and I'm just like, damn, I really miss tying guys up. And then I got fired from my job, and I was wrongfully fired, by the way, but it's fine. So in my unemployment, sitting at home, just, waiting on my next gig to really pop up, I was talking to my friend that loves Reddit and Twitter, porn Twitter, and he brought up something about being a dominatrix again, or a findom again, or something like that he saw on Twitter that had something to do with BDSM. I think we were talking about porn, actually, and it rolled into BDSM. And, I thought to myself, shit, if it's on Twitter, I can do it on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter already in like my vanilla life. So why not make a Twitter and figure it out, and like find DOMs and all this other stuff and figure out what I want to do. And that's exactly what I did. I kind of just dove in it. I don't know any dominatrix women or DOMs in my vanilla life. I don't know anyone that's interested in it besides me. I don't have any like background in it besides what I've been doing the past like 7 or 8 years. So I kind of just dove in, and it was interesting, to say the least. It was very interesting. It's a huge learning curve if you're not already like into it a little bit, how I was. And when I say I was mildly into it, I knew I was mildly into it, but I didn't know I was mildly into it. Like, what I like to do doesn't scratch the surface of like being a dom and being into BDSM. But the good part about that is you're not forced to do anything you don't want to do. And you can really figure out where you want to go and what kind of dom you want to be. So yeah, my friend had made a joke about me starting like a dom life, because he knew about it. But I just was never like open enough to do it with myself, because I was really more so concerned of what my mom would think. And as of now, I don't think my mom would care. Honestly, she's pretty open. It's not me out here stripping or having sex with like a bunch of random men. As long as I'm safe doing it, she's fine with me doing it. And that's how I finally like officially became a dom. I really just decided. And I made a Twitter, I made an Instagram, I made a Snapchat, and I did all of that in one day. And I came out originally as a findom, but as that month went on, I realized that's something that I want to practice on becoming better. Because you can't just, I guess you can just automatically become a findom, but to be good at it, that takes a lot of practice and a lot of work. So I decided I'm going to put that on the back burner, and I'm just going to be the dom that I am. And I'm going to learn that and add that as one of my services later down the line. So yeah, that's really my story on how I became a dom, and like, it's exciting to me, and I'm excited to be doing it. And if anyone has any questions, like I said, I just started, I'm new, I'm learning a lot. Just email me or just comment here and like here. Find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram, find me on Snapchat. And, we go from there. So that is my diary submission for today. And I will see you beautiful bitches later.